to Elliott. Oh, the bicycle! The shot. Bedoya with a goal. 1-0 Union.
It is Thursday, August 31st, and this is Union Insider presented by Bimbo Bakeries USA. I'm Marisa and I'm joined by Sebastian Latou and Sheanon Williams. If there was a such thing as a Leagues Cup hangover, the Philadelphia Union avoided it this weekend down in D.C. A 3-1 victory over D.C. United to return to regular season play. The Union's offense was just firing on all cylinders with goals coming from 3 different goal scorers. Transition game was on and there was a real sense of fluidity in the attack. Seba and Sheanon, Philly and D.C. have met twice before this season and both were scoreless results. Why was the attack so on this weekend?
I think for me the first thing what we saw in this game, it's the team were playing high, putting higher pressure. The first goal came, with Carranza really putting good pressure on the defense and crossing, the ball for Michael Rura, who got another goal for the team. So the confidence is building too for the forward. But I think it's kind of like the join too as well. The transition was very good. Everybody was moving forward. We saw Maglin finishing a nice cross from Martinez, who crossed the field with the ball. But you can see that the energy was right here in the first half. They kind of caught up, I think, this United team were a bit slipping, in the transition, and then, they finished their chances. So it was great to see, and being leading 3-0 at half, I think it was just an easier way for them to do the second half and get the win away for the first time for a 3-game week. So hopefully they keep going, in Toronto, which we are not going to see the game because we are on Thursday, and then we are going to see them, at home back against the Red Bull.
Right, a midweek game for the Union that we can't really talk about because it hasn't happened for us. Sheanon, you always preach strong starts for the Union. Once again, they came out firing in the first couple minutes of the game. What is the ripple effect you see from this team as soon as they're able to get that press on so early?
It's back-to-back games where they've had a strong start and it's led to a goal. So hopefully they'll continue to stay on that front foot. I think that's what their bread and butter is to be a team that presses and a team that tries to win the ball higher up the field rather than trying to build. So we saw it in the last 2 games, and hopefully they'll continue that form and continue that pressure.
It's all regular season action for the Union here on out, and that started Saturday night against DC United. Philly took a quick trip down I-95 for their first road match since mid-July and came home with 3 very important points. The setting may have been the nation's capital, but the night belonged to the Union. Let's take a look back on Saturday's action from Audi Field.
First game back now in league play. Okay? Let's be the best version of us for 90 minutes. They're going to come out flying in the first 15 minutes. Okay, let's use that desperation against them. When they get opened up now, we can hit them in transition on the counter. 11 games left in the season. Every goal matters, every point matters, every win matters. Okay, have to be committed now for 90 minutes. Challenge each other on the field. Everybody empties the tank. Everybody's ready to help out tonight. Let's go. Come on.
Stick together tonight, no matter what. In the tough times, we grind, we keep our heads, no matter what. We support each other, and we play as a team. From the opening whistle to the final whistle. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Shut out tonight, everything. We're not doing 1, 2, 3.
The Belgian international. Mistakes at the back from DC. You don't want to make those kind of mistakes, but they have, and Ua has punished them. Philadelphia Union, inside 5 minutes, are the recipients of a bit of a gift from DC United.
Really quickly turn it over, and Carranza has great recognition as he gets on the ball, picks up his head, and he finds a straight partner.
Is now bringing it away. Change to Tam Ella tonight. Martinez has kept going. He's got Carranza in the middle if he can find him. It's gone all the way through and it's going to fall and be put into the net. Fire a deflection from Jack McLean, and Philadelphia are into a 2-goal lead at Audi Field.
The ball finds its way all the way to the back stick with McLean, who just needs to pass it into the side corner and give Philadelphia Union a commanding 2-goal lead.
Top for Carranza, he gets the touch, he's caught by Miller, and the referee is pointing to the spot. It's a yellow card for Tyler Miller, and it's a Philadelphia Union penalty kick. With 8 minutes to go before half-time at Audi Field for a 3-goal lead, they've got it. Gastak scores, he's still perfect in MLS from the spot. Flicked across, but Teki's there, and it's kept out somehow and still kept out. to follow it in, headed off the line, but Glesnes. How did DC not score there? It's off Benteke's head rather, drops a click to volley, and then nodded in. But the flag has gone up on the far side, and Fajardo appears to have been denied. His birthday yesterday, Duque Pietro. Oh, what a wonderful strike that is! It's full time. It's a fabulous result for the visitors of the Philadelphia Union.
Head coach Jim Curtin told the Union to use this game against DC to set the tone for the final stretch of the regular season. Philly twice turned defense into offense with 2 of their goals. We talked about that high press, creating turnovers. Even off a set piece, Martinez took it, the length of the field for a beautiful assist to Jack McGlynn. And then also defensively, they were so solid. Jacob Glesnes had some textbook clearances and was in really good positioning. So what tone were you picking up from the Union as this was playing out?
For me, I thought that they did a good job to put Leagues Cup behind them and understand that they still have a job to do in the league, and they wanted to come out with a strong start and try to pick up as many points as they can with these final, now that it's going to be 10 games left. They're doing a good job to put the disappointment of coming third behind them and then moving forward, and I think that it started from the first minute and it continued throughout the game.
Was there something that you saw within the Union against DC that maybe you haven't seen in Leagues Cup that you were hoping to see?
I think it was a lot of positive in this game. I thought, the front three connected with each other, even if Carranza didn't find the back of the net, but Gazda scored, Ura scored, Carranza got the penalty kick, he got the assist on Ura, so they were all involved together. It's what you want to see from the offense. I think the back line did a good job, even if I think they're disappointed to not get a clean sheet, at the last 2 minutes of the game. But I think the passing was good in the back line. They didn't lose as many balls as sometimes they lose, little cheap giveaways. I think their long ball from Glesnes, the diagonal balls was very good to find, Wagner on the left side, you saw, Ariel on the right side as well. So all those little things who make the team a bit better. And I think the guy in the midfield, Maglin and Bueno, starting again this game, did a great job. It was a great balance. The only negative is maybe we will have lost Martinez for maybe 1, maybe 2 weeks with a hamstring injury. We don't know yet how big it is, but other than that, I think when Flag step in, I think it's the best role for him, as a number 6, as a Martinez. So a lot of positive to attack now, the game against the Red Bulls this weekend. And, they have a midweek game that, again, we don't know about Toronto, but it will be a great turnout for the team. And if they play the same way, I think they can have great results.
We're stepping away for a bit, but first, let's take a look at This Week in Union History presented by Premier Orthopedics. This week in 2014, the Union took down Toronto FC at home by a final score of 1-0. The lone goal was put in the back of the net by Connor Casey, who scored in the 55th minute of this one to put the Union ahead for good. We're back with Throwback Thursday presented by United Concordia. We don't need to throw it back very far for this one. The Union faced the Red Bulls in the League Cup round of 16 on August 8th of this year, drawing in a fiery 1-1 game before winning 4-3 in penalties. Jesus Bueno scored the game winner in those PKs, sending the club to the quarterfinals. Welcome back to the show, everyone. I'm Marisa Pilla. Let's get into our first team report presented by Green Mountain Energy. The Union are back home after 2 straight road matches where they'll take on New York Red Bull side that they beat at Subaru Park just 26 days ago. Here's what head coach Jim Curtin had to say about renewing their rivalry with the Red Bulls.
Yeah, look, anytime Red Bull and the Union get together, it's a really hard-fought battle. The margins are very tight. It's usually a 1-goal game here or there. So we know that with them, it's about bringing the right intensity. They're a great pressing team. They're very well coached and organized. But we know at home, in our building with our fans behind us, the onus is on us to try to create and try to get chances against them. Again, always being stable defensively, which is our kind of foundation, and recognizing during the course of 90 minutes, we will get opportunities, and it's about being clinical with those opportunities. So we expect a typical Red Bull game. It'll be a real fight, very physical. The margins will be very tight, and hopefully we do all the little things to come out on top.
I got the boys back with me to talk about this New York Red Bulls matchup ahead for the Philadelphia Union. The Union haven't lost a match to the Red Bulls since 2019. The Union defeated New York in Leagues Cup and in the regular season so far this season. And the Red Bulls are very much known for their high press, their pacey play, but that style has gotten a little stagnant and predictable over the years. The quality in the final third just isn't quite there for the New York Red Bulls. Only 23 goals this season. What have the Union figured out about the Red Bulls that they can continue to be successful?
I think it's just in their game plan, the ways that, especially when they play at home, to kind of put pressure like we saw in the last game. Red Bulls, maybe is a team with maybe not less names than in the past. In their team, it's more a younger team who try to develop and, play together. But you saw on the last game when the team won in a Leagues Cup, it was a 1-1 at the end of the game. The Red Bulls scored early, but in that game, the team played at 3 in the back. I think on Saturday we are going to probably see the team playing with 4 in the back. It's a bit different, to be a better communication between Glesnes and Elliott, because we saw that when the Red Bulls were dangerous and they could have been up 2-0 in that game, it was a lot of room in the middle from Elias Manuel, who really put some difficulty in the back line. So I think with a back 4 it will be a better thing for the team to have a better balance and defending better as a team as well. So we know what the Red Bulls can do. We know them very well. I think Jim Curtin will have a good game plan for this. And then after, we all know it's all about fighting and who wants it more.
Right, and the Red Bulls aren't a bad team per se, but their quality in finishing in the final third just really hasn't been there this season. They find themselves in good positionings, but they don't find the back of the net, which at the end of the day is really what matters. And in Leagues Cup, turnovers were such a point of contention for the Union. The first goal for Red Bulls turned off of a turnover from Carranza. How do they clean that up when Martinez might not be in the game?
It's going to be important that they don't have any sloppy turnovers. Anytime that Red Bull's looking to press them, playing over the top, I think Ua's done a really good job in the last couple of weeks playing off the shoulder of that last defender. So if they can release that pressure by playing over the top a little bit more, especially when Red Bulls are really high and trying to press them, I think that they can expose them a little bit, especially in those wide spots when they send their fullbacks forward. So I think that like Seba said, the Union will have a good game plan together, and they'll understand what Red Bulls are coming and trying to do, and not have those sloppy giveaways at the top of the box and in and around their defensive third to give Red Bulls a chance to get into the game.
Fellas, you know what time it is. It is time for Keys to the Game, presented by Subaru. The Union are taking on the New York Red Bulls. They're going to need some keys in order to come back with a victory. So, Sheanon, let's go first.
My key to the game for the Union are going to be a little bit more clinical in the final third. I think that they were able to score 3 goals against DC, and it might be nitpicking, but they could have had more. And against Red Bull, we know that they'll get chances, and they just need to do a good job of putting those chances away and keeping their foot on the gas.
Yeah, that game really could have been maybe 4 or 5 goals for the Union. There were some missed opportunities in and around the 6 and inside the box. Seb, you're taking the opposite approach a little bit.
Since I'm a forward, and for me it's important to have a clean sheet. So
yeah.
I think with the offense, but no, I think a clean sheet at home will be great, and for Andre, for all the defense to kind of get their confidence to really get the final spread, into the playoff. And we all know it's like a 3rd game in a week. There's going to be some heavy leg, everybody be tired, but then you are at home. If you have a clean sheet at home, I think with the weapon we have offensively, the team for sure we should score 1 goal, maybe 2, but if you have a clean sheet, I think it's very good for the confidence of the entire team, especially the back line, and it proves that now they are back into what they do the best, which would be a fortress at home, keep a clean sheet, so now when teams arrive, they know it's going to be very difficult to score on Andre Blake.
Yeah, the Union in a couple of their matches have given up these consolation goals late at games where they could have had a clean sheet, but they've given up these weird goals in the last 15 minutes or so that don't really mean anything other than not keeping a clean sheet. How much does communication play a role late in matches?
I mean, it's a lot, and we all know with Sheanon we play with Andre. He's not happy. Even if the team won, he gives this late goal in the last 10 minutes every time, and we all know that he wants to keep a clean sheet. He is a competitor, so there's definitely communication at the end of the game, between he and the center back, even the midfield, to make sure that everybody still do his job, even if the game was in the bag after the 3-0. But it's very important not for just the team to get a win, but the clean sheet is important for the defense as well. So communication, of course, is always a key, especially from Andre as a captain now on the team, in the back line, but do a better job to stay together and make sure they got a 0 at the end.
Right. Let's make Andre Blake happy this weekend and get a clean sheet, right?
Exactly.
When Union Insider returns, we'll sit down with one of the club's homegrown players as Jack McGlynn gets the spotlight in this week's player profile. We'll be right back after this. Time for this week's Chick-fil-A Nugget of the Week. Daniel Gazdag converted his 9th penalty kick of the MLS season on Saturday against DC United. This moves him into a 4-way tie for most penalty kick goals in a single season in MLS history. Welcome back to Union Insider presented by Bimbo Bakeries USA. That's Sheanon Williams, Sebastian Letou. I'm Marisa Pilla. The Union have a knack for developing homegrown talent, and it appears 20-year-old Jack McGlynn is no different. We sat down with the dynamic young talent for this week's player profile presented by Subaru.
I got involved in soccer because my family's a soccer family. My brother plays professionally in USL, and my dad played throughout his whole career, and he was a coach. So I got involved from it since I think I was 4 years old, and then ever since then I fell in love with the game. I think I realized when I could become a pro when I got called into my first national camp. I think that's when it became like a serious realization for me. I would say my family, my parents, my brother, they all sacrificed so much for me to be here today. So I couldn't have done it without them. The best piece of advice I ever received was hard work don't beat talent if talent don't work hard. I think my teammates would describe me as a player that always wants the ball, a player that's always trying to make things happen, a player that's creative, and a player that tries to make things happen for the team. The most memorable moment of my career so far would be my first MLS goal against Houston earlier this season. It was a free kick in a really good spot, and my teammates trusted me enough to go hit it, and I knew right when I hit it, it was in.
It's McGlynn's the shot. Goal! McGlynn!
Outside of soccer, I like playing basketball. I always play with either Matt Real or Nate, and I always beat them, so it's fun. I relax by just playing video games, either with some of my teammates or my friends from back home, and then just kind of doing my own thing in my apartment. I like cleaning. It kind of keeps me going. One of my favorite things about Philadelphia, other than cheesesteaks, which was unbelievable when I first got here, is just the support the fans and the people of the city have for all the sports teams here.
McGlynn, Carranza back into the middle. It's a goal! It's Gazdag! It's Philadelphia in the lead!
Now let's take a look at some of the action from around the league in MLS Around the League presented by Torque. After a run to the League's Cup quarterfinals, Charlotte FC showed no signs of slowing down, hosting LAFC this weekend. Substitute Scott Arfield found the back of the net in the 75th minute and lifted Charlotte to a 2-1 win over the reigning champs. As for Nashville SC, their welcome back to MLS play was not as pleasant. Atlanta got the best of Nashville this weekend with a final score of 4-0, including this one by Thiago Almada, his 9th of the season. We're stepping away one more time, but when we return, the guys will give me their players to watch for the Union's upcoming match against the New York Red Bulls. Union Insider returns after this. Starting this year, every Union League match is on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. Sign up today to make sure you don't miss a minute of the action. You can also check out the live Whip Around show, MLS 360, or if you missed out on the live, you can relive every moment with full match replays. And get this, if you're a T-Mobile subscriber, you get this whole year of content free of charge. We are wrapping things up here on Union Insider presented by Bimbo Bakeries USA, and around this time of the show, we know what happens. Seba and Sheanon have their all-state players to watch, and Sheanon's sitting a little smug down there at the end of the table because his last two picks, listen, props to Sheanon, right, Seba?
Listen, amazing, on fire.
You seem a little annoyed.
No, I told you I was not here 2 weeks ago, so you already had an advantage.
A little bit of tension happening because these two are competitors. Just for a recap, last week he chose Ura, who had a goal. Week before, Bedoya, who played a great game, also had a goal. So Sheanon, who are you bestowing your good luck and good fortune onto this week for Red Bull?
With the Wednesday game, it's always dangerous to pick for the weekend, but I'm going to go with Ty Baribo. I think all Union fans are waiting to see the new forward that the Union have. Hopefully he can come in and hit the ground running and make an instant impact and start his Union career off well. We know he got in for maybe 10 seconds in Leagues Cup action, so now we're waiting to see more of him and to see what he brings to this group.
Yeah, Seba's silently brewing over here with his selection. And I want to mention, you chose Gazdag last week. He got a PK.
I mean, he's 9 for 9 this year, 10 goals, 10 assists, like his number in the back. Hopefully more to come for our number 10. But this week, I'm going to go with the defense. I'm going to go with Jacob Glesnes. you know, diamond in the rough, we don't know, but we all know how good he can be against New York Red Bulls. Remember the last goal at the last second in the playoff to give the win. I'm feeling he might do another maybe goal like this. Maybe on a corner, maybe on a nice shot from people, you know, yelling at him, shoot, you know, from 40 yards out. We never know. But I think the most important for Jacob and Jack Elliott is to get a clean sheet, like I talked about it before. And I think he will come with our strong Norwegian inner back to have a good game to make sure that we got this clean sheet and we get the win.
I love when Glesnes just puts his head down and just fires at the goal because I mean, the power behind his leg is unreal. And I'm probably the person leading the shoot it cheer, so I'll go with Seba on this one. We'll see who's right next week. That's going to do it for us. The Union back at home Sunday night to face off on their rival, the New York Red Bulls. Kickoff 7:30 p.m. and can be seen on Apple TV. Sheanon will be on the radio alongside Dave Leno, 97.5 The Fanatic. And as always, we will be back here next week to talk all about it. For Seba, Sheanon, and our entire crew, I'm Marisa. Have a great weekend and enjoy the Union match.